Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD podcast. We'll be right back with this week's tech guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. Now, you've heard me say before, these are all great companies. I used every single one of these companies as an athletic director. I highly recommend that you check them out. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our Tech Tuesday guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to thank our good friends at Athletic Surveys for their support of the podcast. You know, athletic directors already get feedback, but a lot of times it's from a very small group that just wants to complain. Athletic Surveys will connect you to that group, but they're also going to connect you to the 98% of your stakeholders who support your program. And having that kind of data is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent, maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. Athleticsurveys.com. We also want to say thanks to our good friends at Hometown. You know, Hometown's changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions that include things like, well, digital ticketing, of course, but there's a lot more. How about fee-free fundraising, athletic website construction, and a whole lot more? Whether you're an athletic director, a head coach, or a school administrator, Hometown is changing the game and making it easy for you to save time, raise more money, and bring your entire community together. Go to hometown.com for more information. We also want to say thank you to Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. Now, I didn't get my master's from the Ohio program, but my assistant athletic director did, along with thousands of others. And it was a great experience. It's very affordable, just 20 months, totally online. And while you're completing your master's degree, you're also completing 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out the Ohio University Online Masters in Athletic Administration. We'd like to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every single day, whether it's scheduling, rosters, results. For me, the athletic clearance and eligibility platform alone is worth the price. Also, if your school or your state already has a platform for scheduling and results, you can still use the athletic eligibility and clearance platform from Home Campus. Go to homecampus.com for more information. Don't forget to mention the podcast, homecampus.com. We also want to thank our friends at Gipper. Go to gipper.com. Let their team help you create world-class content for your school's social media channel. Gipper's used and trusted by over 20,000 high school and college athletic programs. And whether it's a social media post celebrating a big win or an entire newsletter that showcases all the great things that your athletic department is doing, the team at Gipper is going to have you up and running in no time. It's professional graphic design made easy. Go to gipper.com to get started. We want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the different events, or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touchscreen video consoles. You put one of these in your gym lobby or your main school hallway, it's going to be like a magnet for kids, for coaches. How about teachers, sponsors, parents, and community members? Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. As always, don't forget to mention the podcast, vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to thank our friends at Snap Mobile. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. It's hands down a great fundraising tool. We used it at our school with tremendous success. Our coaches loved it. Our parents loved it. It works. Go to snapraise.com. You can check out all their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. It's snapraise.com. We want to thank our friends at Huddle for their support. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but as an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our student athletes loved the videos, and our parents loved the streaming, but there's so much more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and turn your school into a Huddle school. And we'd like to thank Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. We use it for home games, of course, but we also use it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. Their products are tremendously versatile and their customer service is just outstanding. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule that live web demo today. Sidelineinteractive.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD podcast. We're visiting today with John Brochu. He is the COO of a company called PracticePan. He's going to tell you all about that and why you should be adding it to your toolbox as an AD. But John Brochu, welcome to the Educational AD podcast and Tech Tuesday.
Yeah, thanks so much. Glad to be here.
Well, we were connected by a mutual friend. Excited to have you on and share your platform. But before we get to that, we always like to let our listeners have a chance to get to know our guests. So, tell us your life story in 2 minutes and let our
Okay.
listeners see, why you're a member of the athletic community.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in El Paso, Texas, and sports been part of my life, my entire life. Played college football, met my wife, got married, had 3 kids who are also very, athletic kids that I coached all kinds of sports, watched them go play all the way up through college and even internationally. And so became by necessity a club coach for 20 plus years, coached basketball, baseball, softball. In fact, to this day, I still give hitting and pitching lessons to baseball and softball players in the evenings when I can, when I have time. But on a career side, I've kind of been a serial entrepreneur. So started out in healthcare, built a couple of different companies. I have a business partner who's now our CFO, who has done that with me. We've been partners for 30 plus years, and we built a couple of investment companies, some real estate deals. It's just kind of the way my mind operates, and so um, that's kind of my short history, but loved being a sports dad, loved being a club coach, and that's how I understand the pain in what we're solving with PracticePan.
All right. Before we get into the platform, I got to go back to your playing days, growing up.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'm a lot older than you. When I was in school, everybody did, two sports, three sports. I was a three-sport guy. I think we had one guy, all he did was play basketball, but everybody did multiple sports. What was it like for you in your high school days? Were you a single sport guy or were you doing multiple sports?
Oh, for sure, multi-sport. We where I grew up was, I would say, a lower income community, and so we played everything. We were outside all the time. We played baseball in the dirt. We played football in the dirt. We played basketball on the rims at the park with no nets. I mean, that was the environment. But we were always outside doing something. And I think that was actually really helpful. I'm still a big proponent of multi-sport athletes. I think being able to balance, different team chemistries, different schemes from different sports, and understanding all the biomechanics that go into just doing different things. I think it really rounds out a player. So I think a lot of college coaches would probably agree with me on that. Multi-sport athletes are pretty sought after, but harder to find these days for sure.
You hear that so often. I think, old school, or just old guys like me, they sing the praises of the multi-sport experience. It makes you tougher. It makes you better in your favorite sport, whatever you're going to end up specializing in, because of the cross training. You avoid burnout and all that. And you hear the college coaches saying, "Hey, we love to recruit multi-sport kids," but you still hear instances of the club coach or even the high school coach that says, "Oh, you should just be playing this sport year round." As a club coach yourself, how did you manage that club activities for your kids and the kids you coached, and also hopefully encouraging them to play for their high school team?
Yeah, it's tough because it's not all on them, but a lot of times it's the parents driving that, and they want their son or daughter to be the best in at their position at whatever sport it happens to be. So they're like, well, we've got to train all the time on this one thing to be the best. And so they get kind of this idea in their head that that's the only way that their son or daughter is going to make it to play in college, or without the understanding that really a good athlete is going to be found and they're going to find their place. But I still think there's a lot of pressure, even at young ages, very young ages, 10, 12 years old, like, oh, Johnny's going to be a good baseball player, so we're going to go start taking lessons from a pro because that's where we think he's going to end up. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a time to put that down and go do something else and let Johnny be a kid or let him try something else. He may be really, really good at something else that you might be missing. So, I feel like there's some misinformation out there about what it takes to get recruited. And so I think that drives the pressure from parents to kind of isolate their kids into certain sports. I'm not sure any 12-year-old or 14-year-old kid says, this is the only sport I want to play. Um, they might be out there, but it's rare.
Yeah, no, and again, as a career AD and coach, we would see it with the kids. Some kids, not always, but some kids, they just loved it, whatever it was. They loved it. And if that's the case, knock yourself out. But so many times, as you mentioned, it's a mom or a dad that's driving that bus. Well,
Mhm.
appreciate you sharing that. Hey, let's go and talk practice plan. Share with our listeners, what is it, and I guess maybe why they should be interested.
Yeah, it's thanks for asking. It's a practice plan is a facility rental tool that generates revenue and doesn't cost the schools anything. And the genesis of the platform is about 3 years ago. I was giving lessons in my facility. I have a small facility that I give lessons out of. And a dad came in and said, "Hey, I want to rent your place." And I said, "Well, I don't rent my place, but you can go to the high school or you can go to, DBAT or you can go to, Home Run Alley or all these different places. But you need to go at this time. You need to talk to these people." And he was like, "Man, how do you know all that?" And I thought, because I've been doing it 20 years, I'm just connected to the community and to the different centers and coaching club ball for so long. I just know where everything is. But I thought, most people don't. So then I started thinking about the high schools and how most people don't really know that they can rent high school facilities. And if they do know, they don't know how to access them. And so there's still a lot of schools that, give out keys and will let their buddies in and things like that. Um, but now schools are under financial pressure. And so that financial pressure has driven a need for revenues. And so to back up just a little bit, so I'm also a process auditor. That's what I did in healthcare is I went to physicians' offices and hospitals and I audited their processes to make them more efficient and to automate what they were doing. So I went to the local school district in my community. It's also some private facilities and to a church actually who rented their space and said, "Hey, let me look and see what you do." And went through the whole process from A to Z. And I was kind of blown away, honestly, at how many people had to touch each reservation and how involved it was and how many people had to be notified and how the money was still a very manual process with deposits and refunds. And it just it kind of blew me away that it was not the most efficient process. And so we built this platform to basically do all of that for the schools. And so it still needs to be managed by somebody, and that has the institutional knowledge. But at the same time, it takes so much of the work off of if the AD's managing it or if a facility manager is managing it doesn't really matter. It takes the work off of them. The upside is it generates a lot of revenue, and we're seeing our clients are just really singing our praises because they're like, wow, we're we're actually making money on this, and it's not, the knock on it is, well, it's gonna tear up our stuff, but it's not. And just like most, I mean, you have the ability to approve or not approve reservations, but we talk to turf companies, big construction companies, floor companies with gyms. I mean, people don't wear out the stuff. It's the sun that does the damage, the weather. When you have things that are not sport related in on sport courts, then things can happen. But if you're smart about it, you can just generate a whole lot of revenue. So that's what PracticePan is. We started this company about 2.5 years ago, and we're growing really fast. We've really taken on a lot of clients. It's been a lot of fun. And the most fun is that we're solving a problem, and we're seeing that our clients are going, wow, this actually really works. And so thank you for doing this. And so that's the fun part for me.
Yeah, well, and you bring up two aspects of how the platform can help. There are athletic directors out there right now. They're looking for facilities. They don't have a field, and their soccer, their football, their lacrosse team has to practice. They don't have a gym, and they've got boys and girls, varsity, JV, middle school. They're looking for a place their teams can practice. But you also have athletic directors that are blessed with, let's say, multiple gyms and multiple fields, and could use a revenue boost. But geez, how do I get the word out there? So, what uh, there's a couple of different, let's say, uh, opportunities in this area of facilities. Why PracticePan? What do you feel? What are you really proud about your platform? And what's some of the feedback you've gotten from your clients so far?
Yeah, well, one of the things is that we're a marketplace, and so there's marketing built in with that. So when people go to look for a place that they know exists on our platform, they'll see everything else in the area too. So they can shop a little bit. They can say, you know what, I don't want to pay $125 for a turf field because I'd rather pay 75 for a grass field because that's in my budget and I don't mind practicing on grass. And others might say, I'm bringing in a 7-on-7 tournament and we get these calls all the time. Hey, John, we need 4 fields, for 3 days for a weekend. And those companies are willing to pay a significant amount of money to rent those. So it's different consumers all on the same platform, being able to look and see exactly what they need. Do I need a gym with, a full size basketball court and, seating for 1,000, or do I just need a place to practice? And the elementary school has, a smaller court, but it's a place where we can do all of our drills on a Tuesday night. And so that's one of the huge benefits is just them being able to see what's available and then have access. So they don't have to go to the school to fill out a form. They don't have to walk in a check. They don't have to really talk to anybody. And a lot of our reservations are made between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. at night. So people are sitting in their pajamas on their couch going, oh, I need to schedule a practice for Thursday. They can go on our site. They can find what they need. They can schedule it, pay for it right then, and the booking's done. So it's kind of like shopping online. It's like an Airbnb type of service. And then all of the back end stuff really is the efficiency part for the facility managers.
Yeah, and again, the website that you have is very user friendly. Whether it's somebody that's looking to, rent their facility out or somebody that's looking for a place to play. Can you just talk? And again, it's a podcast, but can you just share real quickly how it works, how easy it is to work?
It really is. Like I said, it's like an Airbnb. You go on there, you put in your criteria for what you want. I need a gym, or I need a court, or I need a field, and it needs to be like this. And I have this many people. I need it for this time on this day, and then all the things pop up, and then I can choose that. And if the facility requires liability insurance, I upload that right there. Or I can save it in my profile, so I don't have to do that each time. I can save my payment information, so I don't have to do that each time. And it's really fast, and I can make multiple reservations all at once. If I'm a club team and I want to book, every Tuesday, Thursday, and we have a lot of people that do this every Tuesday, Thursday for the whole semester, then I can do that, and I can do it all at once. And then on the backside of that, the platform integrates with the facility's calendar. So we sync completely with the school calendar so that they don't have to worry about double booking. They're not worried that there's an available time out there that they've already got someone in there. That won't happen with the integration. And so it frees them up to just put the availability out there based on their calendar. So it's just really user friendly on both ends.
Yeah, and again, sounds like a great way for athletic directors to solve that number one dilemma is, lost time. Those time sucking projects. Here's one that is going to help them, get some time back. Um, John, again, we appreciate you coming on to share. But if one of our listeners wants to find out more about the platform from either end, from the fundraising or finding facilities, what's the best way they can find out more about Practice Plan? And what if they want to pick your brain? What's the best way they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can email me at john.brochu@practiceplan.io. Our emails are all finish in IO, so that's a little different. They can reach me on LinkedIn. They can go to our website, www.practiceplan.io. There's help buttons, there's demo buttons, there's videos you can watch. And yeah, I'd love to talk to anyone about it and help them get going. We do all the legwork for you in the setup. It's actually pretty easy. We have districts with 11 high schools and on up, and we have one high school districts. And so it doesn't really matter the size to us. We just want to help you.
Yeah. Well, again, that website, practiceplan.io. Check out all the great features of the platform. Whether you're looking to generate some income for your school or your district, or if you're looking for a facility so your teams can get a little more practice in, check out practiceplan.io. John, thanks again for sharing with our listeners. All the best moving forward. And we're going to have to get you back on, maybe this fall, see how things are going.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Thank you so much.
For our listeners, we want to say thank you for listening and just remind you that we do upload the Zoom recordings of every interview to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this segment every week, and just about every day we try to share stories and best practices from the world of athletics. So come back and join us next time on another Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast.